Hey there, welcome back to the show. Today we're talking about something that's in almost every product in the grocery store, from your bread to your cereal and even some of your beauty products, folic acid. Most people don't give it much thought, but it plays a big role in your health, and it can also have some hidden risks that you're not paying attention to. So if you've ever wondered, what's the deal with all the folic acid in my food? Or could folic acid actually be bad for me? This episode is for you. Let's dive into the science behind it, potential health concerns, and how it impacts you, especially if you're pregnant or have certain genetic conditions. All right, first things first, what is the endocrine system? It's a network in your body made up of glands that produce hormones, things like insulin, thyroid hormones, and sex hormones. These hormones control everything from how you grow to your metabolism, mood, and even your reproductive health. Now, folate is the natural form of vitamin B9 found in food. It's found in things like spinach, avocados, and beans. Your body uses folate to create red blood cells and make DNA. Super important, right? Now, folic acid is the synthetic version of folate. It's what you find in supplements and fortified foods. Think about all the cereals, breads, and pastas that are enriched with folic acid. It's everywhere. The goal of fortifying food with folic acid was to prevent neural tube defects in babies, which is a huge win for public health. But here's the thing. When you get too much folic acid, especially from supplements, it can cause some issues. Now let's talk about why too much folic acid can be a bad thing. For most people, folic acid is totally safe at normal levels, like the amounts you get in fortified foods. But if you're getting too much, it can cause some problems. Unmetabolized folic acid. For some people, especially those with genetic variations like the MTHFR gene mutation, the body doesn't metabolize folic acid properly. This can lead to a buildup of unmetabolized folic acid in the blood. Now, what's the big deal about that? Well, this could potentially mess with how your body processes other forms of folate and interfere with your immune function. Masking vitamin B12 deficiency. Another concern is that folic acid can mask a B12 deficiency. So if you're low in B12, folic acid can fix the anemia caused by B12 deficiency, but it won't fix the neurological damage that comes with it. That's dangerous because you might not know you have a B12 deficiency until it's too late. If you're getting too much folic acid, say over 1,000 micrograms a day, some studies have suggested that it could increase the risk of certain cancers like colorectal or prostate cancer. But here's the thing, the evidence is inconsistent. Some studies find a link, but others don't. So we don't have a clear answer yet, but it's still something to keep in mind. For most of us, though, the real risks are low as long as we're not going overboard. Let's touch on something you might not expect, mental health. Some people have wondered if folic acid could actually be contributing to depression and anxiety. Now, there's no strong evidence to suggest that folic acid directly causes these issues, but here's where it gets interesting. People with certain genetic mutations like the MTHFR gene mutation may have difficulty turning folic acid into the active form of folate your body actually needs, L-methylfolate. This could theoretically lead to lower levels of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which play a key role in mood regulation. Some research suggests that if folic acid builds up in these people, it might worsen mood disorders. But again, the evidence is not super strong and more studies are needed. If you take folic acid and you're low on B12, you might not notice the neurological symptoms that B12 deficiency causes, like mood swings or even depression. So this is one reason to always check your B12 levels if you're taking folic acid regularly. But overall, we don't have robust evidence that folic acid directly causes anxiety or depression. Now let's talk about pregnancy. This is where folic acid gets really important. Pregnant women are often advised to take folic acid to prevent neural tube defects like spina bifida. And guess what? It works. Folic acid has been shown to dramatically reduce the risk of these serious birth defects when taken before and during the early stages of pregnancy. But here's the thing. Some women have a genetic mutation that makes them less able to process folic acid properly. For these women, natural folate from food or supplements like L-methylfolate might be a better option. That's why it's important for pregnant women or women trying to get pregnant to talk to their doctor about the right form of B9 for their specific needs. So if you're pregnant or planning to be, you're probably going to be advised to take folic acid supplements unless you have a specific concern or condition that requires a different approach. So where's folic acid actually found? Well, it's in fortified foods. You won't find folic acid naturally in food. It's added during the manufacturing. Here's some common sources: fortified cereals, breads and pastas, rice products, nutritional bars or protein shakes. And here's the tricky part. Just because you eat a lot of these foods doesn't necessarily mean you're getting the right kind of folate or the right amount. Always check labels to see what foods have been fortified with folic acid. So you want to avoid folic acid. What can you do? Well, it's not as hard as it sounds. Here are some tips. Go for unfortified foods. Look for whole grains like quinoa, brown rice, and oats. Stick to unfortified flours and try baking. Focus on natural folate. Get your B9 from whole foods like leafy greens, legumes, avocados, and citrus fruits. These foods contain natural folate, which your body can process easily. Read labels. Always check the ingredients list. If you see folic acid listed, that means the food is fortified, and you might want to avoid it if you're trying to limit your intake. Choose L-methylfolate supplements. If you need to take a supplement, look for L-methylfolate instead of folic acid. It's the active form of folate, and it's easier for your body to use. So what's the takeaway here? For most people, folic acid is fine in moderate amounts, especially if you're looking to avoid deficiencies or protect against neural tube defects in pregnancy. However, if you have a mutation like MTHFR, or if you're concerned about overconsuming folic acid, it's a good idea to focus on natural folate from food or consider L-methylfolate as a supplement. At the end of the day, the goal is to get enough folate, whether it's from folic acid, food, or supplements, so you're healthy and well-balanced. Always check in with your doctor if you have specific concerns about folate intake, especially if you're pregnant or dealing with mood issues. Thanks for tuning in today. If you have any questions, comments, or thoughts about folic acid, drop them below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.